Concepts like libraries and objects are everywhere, and you need to understand them before writing RPG programs. Hello everyone, and welcome to a new IBM I RPG sample video. This is the second episode of a series Learn RPG on IBM I with VSCode. In the previous video, we installed the development tools, configured Visual Studio Code, and connected to an IBM I system. If you remember, we were using ACS and VSCode to connect to POP 400, that is an IBM I server. So now we are ready to start working. But before we begin writing RPG programs, we need to understand some fundamental IBM I concepts. Because if you write an RPG program, but you don't know where the source is, how you can compile it, or how you can run it, writing code is useless. We must know that IBM I is not like Windows, it's not like Linux, and it's not like other platforms. IBM I has its own architecture, its own object-based system, and its own way of organizing applications. This is something we need to know, because writing RPG programs is not as we were writing a program in other platforms. We'll see in the next videos that in RPG the files are not just files, we will not show on screen the information as in other languages, etc. If you understand these basics, everything else becomes much easier. So in this video we will talk about libraries, objects, jobs, and some CL commands. And then we will do a small practical demo. So let's go. One of the most important concepts in IBM I is the concept of a library. If you come from other platforms, you can think of a library as something similar to a folder. But in IBM I, a library is more than just a directory. A library is a container of objects. Inside the library, we can store programs, files, tables, views, service programs, modules, data areas, and many other types of objects. So everything in IBM I lives inside a library. Applications are organized by libraries. For example, you might have a library named DevLib for development, another named TestLib for testing, and a different one named ProdLib for production. Well, this is just an example because for all these tasks we use different environments, not libraries. The usual is that every different application resides in its own library, but this is not always this way. Inside each library you'll find all the objects that belong to the application. But as I said, you can put your objects where you want or where you need. An application can also use the objects that are inside other libraries, if they allow to. This is one of the most important things to understand in IBM I. We don't organize applications using folders. We organize applications using libraries. Other important thing to understand is the concept of object in IBM I, because IBM I is an object-based system. This means everything is an object. Programs are objects, files are objects, libraries are objects, commands are objects. Each object has a name, a type, a library, and attributes. For example, a program is an object with type PGM, a physical file is an object with type file, a library is an object with type lib, etc. This object-based architecture is one of the reasons why IBM I is so stable and secure, because objects are managed by the operating system and applications cannot corrupt the system. Another important concept in IBM I is the concept of a job. A job is basically a running session on the system. When you connect to IBM I, you are running inside a job. When you execute a program, it runs inside a job. And we'll see that this execution can belong to the same job you are inside or to another. When you open a 5250 session, that is also a job. Each job has some attributes. They have a user profile, a library list, an environment, variables, a current library, etc. So the job defines your working environment. This becomes very important later when we start executing programs, compiling RPG code, and running SQL statements. Of course, this is just an introduction, and we'll talk about all these concepts again in next videos. IBM I is heavily based on commands. These commands are called CL commands. CL stands for control language. Instead of clicking around in menus, IBM I users usually execute commands. Of course, we also have menus, as you can see in the green screen, and in every option what it executes is a command. But if we know the command we want to run, it is always better to write it instead of looking for the right option in the right menu. For example, we'll have commands to display libraries, to work with objects, to compile programs, to create files. Everything is done using commands. And we'll see that some of these commands have been improved with the time. So now we also have the possibility of using them directly from SQL. You can run these commands in the 5250 terminal, in the green screen. If you remember, in the last video we were using the command display library list to see the current list of libraries of my user. We also can run them in ACS run SQL scripts, in VSCode, and of course inside CL programs. We'll see it in next videos. And in this video we will use some basic commands. Let's take a look at some very common commands. For that we'll go to the green screen. Well, once connected we can insert commands directly here in the line. Let's start with the command work with libraries. It is written this way. You can write it this way or this way or this way. It doesn't matter if you are uppercase or lowercase. Well, this command allows you to work with libraries. You can see existing libraries, create libraries, copy them, change them, etc. There's a lot of options. Of course, you'll be able to use every option depending on your credentials in the IBM I. If you see in the green screen, we have a lot of options. Usually they are at the top. You see, they are here. And also we have function keys that are here. Okay. Well, the options are used to operate with a single line of record you see on screen. For example, in this case, with every single library, we can use an option. And the function keys are used to do global things. For example, the function F3 usually means exit in all programs. There is not a written rule on how you have to put all the function keys and options in the programs, but usually the way is doing the same as the system has. For example, putting an F3 to exit. Well, let's press F3 and exit. Well, another useful command is display libraries. It is written this way. Well, this displays information about the library, and it has an interesting option 5 that displays objects in every library. For example, if I press it here in my library, here you can see all the objects inside the library. You can use option 5 to display detailed information about an object, or 8 to display service attributes. Okay. Each screen contains a lot of information. Most of the time you won't need all of it, but it's important to know that it's available when you need it. This can be very helpful when exploring application or troubleshooting issues. Okay, well, let's press F3. This way we are going back to the main menu. Well, other command is work with objects, that is written this way. Well, this command allows you to work with objects inside the library. If you insert the command directly, it shows you the possible parameters you can insert. In this case, the parameters are OBJ and OBJ type. That means object and object type. If you have any doubt about a parameter in every screen, you are able to press the F1 function, that means help. Okay, and you see something like this, This will give you some help about the field you are asking about, okay? Of course, if you know the parameters, you can write them directly with the command. For example, let's go back with F12 and you can write work with objects and insert it like this, and then you'll see the different options you can use for the library that I have insert. If you have some other objects in the same name with the same name, it will be shown in the same screen. Okay, let's press F12. And well, finally, let's talk about the display object description command that is written this way: display object description. Well, this command displays object description. Here we have a lot of possible parameters to insert, but we can, for example, insert something like this. Okay. It shows detailed information about a specific object. All these commands are used constantly when working on IBM I. It is important to know them and to use them. Now let's do a small demo. We're gonna explore existing library. In my case, I already have two libraries that are this one and this one. Okay, these libraries will be used during this series. First, let's display one of them. We type work with library and the name of the library. And as you see, this shows the library information. Now let's explore the objects inside this library. Instead of typing here a 5, let's write the command work with objects this way. And here we can see all the objects stored in the library. For example, we might see source files, programs, physical files, display files. Each one is an object with a type. This confirms that what we explained before, a library is just a container of objects. Now let's display detailed information about one object. We can use display object description. And this shows all file objects in this library. And we can also check the other library. Typing F9, we retrieve the last command inserted. Okay, and we can edit it this way. And as you can see, these are all the objects, all the file objects in the second library. Okay, so we are exploring a different container. So this is how IBM I organizes applications. Libraries contain objects, and objects represent everything in the system. Okay, now let's look at the same thing in Visual Studio Code. Of course, we'll need to connect to the IBM I to see all this. Let's connect. Okay, we are already connected. Well, if you remember in the last video, we were talking about the filters, all these filters. Here I have a filter to see my library, my first library, Larsen 1, and opening this, we'll see all the objects that are inside. This is more simple than inserting commands. This is exactly the same concept we saw in the green screen, but using a modern interface. Be careful with this, because the filter can be removed just clicking with the right button and remove it this way, clicking on this option. But if you use this option over an object, for example this, and we select delete, then it will be removed from the system. Okay, so it is important to know. Well, other thing we can do directly from Code4i is running some commands. If the command is just executing something and not showing you a screen to insert options, it can be executed directly from VSCode. For example, let's create a new text file. New text file. Let's select the language CL. Okay. And then let's save it with a name. For example, and then we can, for example, insert this command. Let me put it a little bigger, and let's run it directly using Command R or Control R if you have Windows or Mac. And as you see, it is running the command, and you are getting all the result directly from the IBM I in the terminal, in the VSCode terminal. Okay, the command was successful, and you get all the result here in the screen. Okay. So in this video we talk about libraries, objects, jobs, CL commands, and some basic IBM I commands. We also have been using some commands, how they work in the green screen, also in VS Code. All these concepts are very important because everything we do in IBM I will use libraries and objects. In the next video, we'll start preparing our development environment. We'll create our first source physical file to store RPG code. And after that, we'll finally write our first RPG program. I hope you liked the video and that it was useful to you. As always, remember to like and subscribe if you aren't already, and see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.